Hello everyone! This is the part of my audition where I need to elaborate a little bit of my creations, cakes that I've made. This is a football cake that a client ordered for her son who was turning 12 years old. It took me about, I would say, an hour and a half to 2 hours to do it. It was the first time I did it, but she was very pleased with the end result. This is the pink mud monkey cake. It was done for a friend of mine's for her daughter's second birthday. It was made all out of fondant, and it was the first time I did a monkey face. It was a big hit. Everybody loved it. This was my very first topsy-turvy cake. It was a 4-tier cake. It was very challenging because of all the colors and details on it. It gave me a hard time because I couldn't keep it all together. It took me around 7 or 8 hours, but at the end, it all worked out and everybody loved it. This was the cake I made for my brother's wedding. It was the first wedding cake I made. It was a 9-tiered cake, and it was a challenge because they had different flavors. It took me a very long time to make. It took me a few hours, but I think it was really pretty. I'm happy with the end result, and so was everybody else. This is a pre-kindergarten cake that a client ordered. It's all made out of fondant. It's all edible. It took me quite a while. It was a challenge for me, and I would say it took me about 4 or 5 hours to make every single little detail, but at the end, it was all worth it. This is a baby shower cake that I was ordered by a client who wanted 3 different cakes. I never done a baby in the bathtub cake before. I didn't have the mold to do it. I did a regular cake and I carved it all out by hand. It was a real big challenge for me. It took me quite a few hours to get it done, but I was very happy at the end with the end result, and so was the client. This is another baby shower cake that the client had ordered for the same baby shower. It's a 3D cake. It's a baby bag. Everything is made out of fondant. It was really challenging for me because the first one I made actually fell apart on me. I had to redo it, but the second one came out better. And it took me, I would say, about 7 hours since I had to redo everything, but the client was very satisfied. This is the pregnant belly cake. It's very common in Puerto Rico. It was a pretty big challenge for me. It was the first time I made it. It took me about 3 or 4 hours to get all the pleats done and everything placed in order correctly, but at the end, the client was very satisfied. This is another baby shower cake. It's called the gift cake. It took me around, I would say, 3 or 4 hours to finish every single detail on it. It was a really nice cake the client had ordered, and everybody at the baby shower was bragging about it, and everybody loved it. This card cake was a challenge that a friend of mine made me. She dared me to make this cake for her. I had never made a card cake before. I did not have the pan for it. I had to carve it all out by hand. I made it all with fondant, including the people inside the car. But at the end, everybody was really, really satisfied with the cake. This cake was for a 2-year-old little boy, theme of cars. It was pretty challenging for me because of all the little details on it. It took me about, I would say, 3 hours, but they were all very satisfied and pleased with it. This was a 4-tiered cake that my pastor asked me to do for our 7th anniversary from our church. It's the very first time I ever did pleats or flowers on a cake. I had never done it before. It took me around almost a full day to get this cake together, but it was a huge success and everybody had something to rave about the cake. It was very beautiful. This is a wedding cake I was ordered. It's a topsy-turvy, and the bride wanted it to be of leopard print with some feathers. And it was a huge success. It was very easy. It took me about, I would say, 3 hours, and the bride was very pleased with it. Thanks everyone for watching.